Okay, so here we are again, doing a drawing tutorial. This one is going to be of Elsa in Frozen, but it's actually not from the movie. It's from the conceptual art that was put together by Brittany Lee and Jin Kim from Disney. It just shows you, it's a testament to the incredible drawing abilities that these individuals have. And actually coming up with these drawings is just the fact that they did, we're very grateful for it. It's just very impressive. So with that said, if this doesn't work out the first time, don't worry about it. Give it a try again. You're going to enjoy it incredibly. And that's why I do it. I like these drawings because, you could measure with a grid pattern that you put on this and measure it. Or you could actually measure how I prefer, which is to measure point by point and plot it and then put it together like a connect the dots. But when you try to get these shapes in there and try to draw this with the shapes and break it down, I think it makes you a better artist. It's thinking and it's more enjoyable. So with that said, let's start. So what I always do is I always try to put an envelope where I can fit this in, that I know that those are my barriers there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line here in the bottom. That's my very bottom. I mean, excluding her ponytail, of course. I'm going to go to the top here and I'm going to put it there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually try to break this down and subdivide it into equal parts. So I think this is the center right here. This is about the center right here. And then I'm going to subdivide these more or less. I mean, this is more or less. And so I have it broken down into 8 equal parts. This is my center dividing line. I'm going to, of course, put a center on this. I always put a center. So it just lets me know how to navigate this better. And so with that said, I see a big circle right here. I see a big circle right here. And it looks like the height is almost the width. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get this half right here and I'm going to mark it. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to get this other half right here and mark it. So that looks like that's my circle right there, more or less. More or less. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring these lines right down here. Let's figure out where the shoulders are at. So let's see. These, it looks like it's about a little bit more than a circle and a half is the shoulder to shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe get like a quarter of that. I'm going to mark it. Just give it its little. And it looks like around here is where the collarbones are. So I'm going to go ahead and do my lines. Here's my shoulder right here. More or less can't see it, but that's there it is. And let's figure out her chin line. It looks like her chin line falls about here, in between these here. So let's mark that chin. And let's see the thickness of that neck. Looks like it's not quite a half. It's 3/4 of a half, not quite the half. So let's sort of visualize this here, more or less in the center. Okay. And we said this was the chin line right here. So let's see if we can get that angle. See how I get this angle right here from the chin line. Let's see if we can get this angle here from the chin line. Cheek to cheek there, let's see. Cheek to cheek. So it looks like something like that. Something like that. Okay, let's see. So we got that. We more or less, it's starting to look like a person there. So that's a good start. It looks like on the neck, it points almost directly to her pupils. See that right there? It almost looks, but it's not quite in the center of the eye. So the eyes are a little bit off. Let's mark the top of the eyes. That's a good. And it looks like the top of the eyes are at this line right here. So we're 1, 2, 3 lines down. It looks like the top of the eyes are more or less there. And we know the pupils are gonna be here, the pupils, but we don't know the height, at what height they're gonna be. So let's more or less try to get this shape here. Let's try to get that shape in there. And notice the circle, how far it's gonna be from the edge here. Same on the other side. So we're gonna mark that. Now let's try to get this, shape in here. Also remembering the distance between one and the other. So we're gonna do 2 circles, more or less. They're not quite circles, but we imagine eyes that way, so. And it looks like that distance in the middle, more or less, it's there, more or less. Okay, so with that said, notice this is a flat line. This is not a circle, so we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna make that flat. We're gonna make that flat. And we're gonna figure out where that tear duct is at. That tear duct, so that we're gonna make that a straight line down, and same on this side. Even though it's hinted there, we're gonna do that. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and cut that eye. Get this shape, very exotic shape. Let's try to get that more or less. So notice it goes up, and it doesn't just curve, it goes up and it goes across. This one curves more and it goes across, but up and across. And this one goes up and it goes across. Okay. There's the eyelashes that are that dark spot. It comes from thin to big, so let's try to get a little bit thicker there and just come across. Same on the other side. Actually dips a little bit over here. Got the end of the eyelash. It goes from thick to thin. See this right here? That's giving us the indication that the eye is round. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get that. Same on the other side. She sure looks like an alien at this point, right? And then the top of the eyelid. And on the other side is the same thing. Now let's put the eye in. That circle fills up a lot. And remember, realize it's not a full circle. Notice it comes down here. It has a slight angle here and here. So that's part of the artistic. I mean, we could do circles. Let's just do circles. But it's not really a circle. It's got a shape, and you'll notice in photographs too, they have a shape as well. The eyes on actual individuals in photographs, depending on the angle, they have They're not quite circles. It's not perfect unless they're looking right at you. Sometimes not even. So let's see a circle inside there. Try to get this right size of that pupil. We can fix it. Remember, this is just the construction phase. We can fix it at the end. So I think that works for me. That works. Let's see if we can find that that nose. So if I come across that nose, it's not quite in the center. It looks like it's just slightly above the center of this, from this line here, from the bottom of the eyes. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a circle, like a button nose circle there. We're just gonna do that. We're gonna mark the two sides. She's got two nostrils. Top of the nose. So the sides of the nose, and that's really it. And then her nose comes over, and then it shoots out to the top to her eyebrow. Let's mark that eyebrow now. The eyebrow is about a pencil slightly less than a pencil thickness above her actual eyelid. And we're gonna go up, and we're gonna go down. We're gonna try to make it as simple as possible. We could really ruin at this point, her gesture. So, and it ends at the eyelid, so we're gonna end at the eyelid here. I mean at the eyelash. Nice and square there. The other one is actually her gesture. It comes from the back. It comes over. It looks like it bends right at the corner of her eye, of her iris. I'm gonna come down, and it goes way past. It almost lines up with one of her nostrils, so I wanna make sure we don't miss that. That's very important. So now, let's get her mouth in place. Her mouth is a little bit over the middle of this. So this is the middle. It seems like the middle would be the bottom lip. So I'm gonna go slightly over the middle. And I'm actually doing the line of her mouth right now. The corners line up with the front of her iris, so it's pretty, the inside of her iris, so it's pretty wide. It doesn't seem that wide, but it is. The top of her mouth is actually a straight line. And her bottom lip is just a line, the bottom of her bottom lip, and it just comes up on the sides. Again, we can adjust this when we do the final inking process. And then she's got a little shape on her lip. Her chin is much thinner than what I did it. It's actually a little line there. There we go. So let's put her hair in now, because she doesn't look quite right. Well, let's put the ears in first. See the ears right here? There's one ear, the other ear. So the ears on us, on average, most people have their ears starting, the bottom of their ear lines up with the bottom of their nose. She's slightly looking down. Her head is slightly turned down by our rules of drawing, because her ears are slightly above. She's also a caricature, so it might not follow all the rules exactly, but her ears should be starting at the bottom of her nose and should finish at about her brow, which is a little bit lower here, but that's more or less, we're gonna follow the rule of what we're seeing here, but just telling you that for future reference. And this line is more curved here. See, I'm fixing it. You fix things as you go along. Here's the same thing. We're a little bit above the nose. And that's it. Now we're going to observe the masses here of her hair. I see one shape here. I see another shape here. I see another shape here. I see a square here. I see a square, a rounded square with a rounded corner. I see another shape here. So we're going to treat her hair in parts. Strong angle here. Comes down to here, so we're going to get that strong angle there. And where her hair is coming out of is lined up with this half of this circle. So we're going to go there. And it starts a little bit offset from the center, so it's actually from here. Let's get that angle. We can come out with it. It flattens out and it comes out. On this side, it sort of flattens out. And there's a hair that comes right down there, but I'm gonna ignore this for right now. I'm gonna come straight down to above her eyebrow. And let's try to get these shapes in, so. Now these shapes stick a little bit farther outside of her hair. Her hair. So let's get that shape in here. So that's that one. Let's get this one in here. And then let's get this big one. In there. I want a little bit out. That's okay. Nothing is perfect. We're going to bring this one from here. It comes out a little bit past her ear, so it's going to be about here. So let's follow it from the bottom. Here's another shape. And now her character comes from this area right here. Well, let's finish this. So this comes down here. And there's a little bit of hair there. And we got this one right here. It comes out of from about there. And then let's do this one here. Again, the draftsmanship of these two artists, of Brittany Lee and Jin Kim, are just incredible. This is done in pencil, and it's just, you just can't, I just respect them more and more every time I draw this, because, and I love to see good art. And, you know, I mean, these guys are real, and women are real savants. Incredible things that we're seeing here. So I've got that shape there. And then we've got this piece here, this lock. I don't want to miss it. It goes over the eye a little bit. That's a thing. That's one of her signature things, right? So we're going to try to come out and go over. Very nice. Okay, so here's a trick. This is the braid that she has is beautiful, but you can go crazy with that braid. So I found a way that I address it that makes it easier, and I handle it in big circles. So let's start with this circle. There's a circle right here coming down. You can see it there. There's another circle right here. I'm gonna very lightly. It's kind of an oval, like a jelly bean. Then there's a bigger circle right here. I'm gonna address that. See that circle? Then here's another one. And then there's another one down here. There's another one down here. And then there's her braid and the end of her braid and her little tie down there. So now what I do is I just connect these edges. And that gives me the, and you can tweak it, but that gives me the perimeter of my circle. And on the inside, it's the same thing. So now we've got the perimeter, and then let's just observe how he treated it. He brought this around here. He's got a line right here. This one comes around. Got this one here. And that's sort of, you know, then she's got her dress. Let's get her dress down. Whoa. It's her dress, and then she's got like she's got a collarbone here coming down. I'm not gonna focus too much on that. She's got her collarbone there. And that's more or less our drawing. Now let's, I'm gonna ink this and I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna ink it, speeding it up. I'm gonna make some corrections. You're gonna see there's things I don't like, there's things I like. And you know, again, I can't emphasize more what how much I enjoyed drawing these drawings from these artists that work for Disney that just do an incredible job and inspire us to, you know, just drawing what they did, you know, is just an incredibly good time. So watch me ink this. I'm going to ink it pretty fast, but that's a whole process. I go around the outline. I try to correct things as I go along, but I mean, it's pretty much going to be the same drawing. So enjoy.